There are a lot of things when it comes to a Dungeons & Dragons game that can scare you. There are the terrifying liches, ghosts, goblins and ghouls waiting around every corner. Or maybe it's the fear of death, a dragon looming over you about to breathe its powerful breath upon you. Or maybe it's the existential dread of having to be able to roleplay in front of a bunch of your friends and show that part of you. There are many ways and reasons that these things can come out in a game, but for me, there's nothing more terrifying than the blank sheet of paper that is a new campaign. Session 1. The beginning of a new adventure, one that may take your friends years to complete, a new journey of which there will be many twists and turns none of you know are there. There will be highs, there will be lows, there will be the beginning, the end, there will be character arcs and incredible triumphs. But at the end of it all begins with that first session. Much like the smell of new fresh cut grass, a new campaign brings a strange feeling. A sense of excitement, of satisfaction, but most of all a sense of the unknown, an understanding that you do not know what is about to happen. It is, without a doubt and unequivocally, a foreboding and exhilarating feeling as you look at what might be a many-year adventure with some of your closest friends, exploring, overcoming, and succumbing to the many trials ahead. I want to talk about the unique feeling of a new campaign. I want to talk about the unique emotion one can feel when beginning a new adventure with your friends. So let's talk about that. Now before I really jump into the video, I first of all wanted to take a moment to just thank every single one of you watching this video, and more specifically, those of you who are subscribed. We recently hit the mark of 10,000 subscribers, and I just can't express how much that means to me. I really didn't expect this channel to hardly go anywhere, and the fact that we hit 10,000 before the end of the year, which is a goal I had set for myself but honestly found as unrealistic, it kind of amazes me. So seriously, thank every single one of you for continuing to support this channel and the stupid mistakes that I make. The fact that you guys want to come on a weekly basis and hear me talk about D&D, I wish there was some way I could describe how much that means to me and what that makes me feel. And if you want to let me take a moment to be an official YouTuber for a moment, this is how many people watch my videos that aren't subscribed versus subscribers. If you're watching this and you enjoy, please do consider giving it a like and a subscribe. I feel really weird saying that. I try not to do those typical YouTuber things, but hey, as long as I'm trying to grow the channel, if you could help out even in a small way, it means the world to me. But with that being said, let's jump into the video. Now, why am I wanting to talk about specifically the feeling of starting a new campaign? What's so important about that, to me at least? Well, there's a few different reasons. One, I am on the precipice of starting a new chapter of my life. I'm going to be leaving my job soon, which I've been with for a long time, and for the first time, I don't really know where I'm going. In fact, the only thing I know for certain is this channel. And that feeling of the unknown, of standing on the edge of a cavern, of which you don't know what is inside, but you're about to take the leap, is terrifying and yet at the same time exhilarating. But as I continue to move forward and I start to think about things, I begin to realize something very specific. The feeling of unknown is only a worry in context, or in certain contexts. I took that by looking at the start of a new campaign. If you look at a new campaign, and I've had the opportunity and honor of being able to start 2 new campaigns that I'm DMing this year alone, things get interesting. There's so much potential in front of you. The entire world is laid out and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what characters your players are going to play until they roll them up. You don't know what the story is going to be until they make those choices, and the characters don't know what's going to happen in the world until you, the DM, show them. There's infinite opportunity. And isn't it weird that in that case, in that text, unknown means excitement. Unknown is something we look forwards to. But when we get into real life, when we have a real life situation where the unknown means anything, it's so easy to be scared. See, I'm on the edge of starting this new part of my life and I'm scared. I don't know what I'm going to do, and for the first time, I'm really kind of lost. I'm trying to figure it out as I go along and get things in place, but I just don't know. My channel is doing well and I do want to try and do this full time, but I don't feel confident doing that just yet. And so I have to find something else I want to do, but it has to be something that is worth it to me, but also makes enough money for me and my wife to be able to make a good living. And in that case, I begin to spiral. I begin to think about all these different things which I wouldn't have before. Things that worry me. What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? What if something happens? What if there's a bill I don't expect? What if one of us has to go to the hospital? So on, so on, so on. Now, I admit a lot of those worries are specifically American-centric. I know other people deal with bills, but in America specifically, it's so strange how we get so worried about bills in a medical hospital rather than elsewhere in the world. But that's a different side tangent. Nonetheless, I'm worried. I'm scared. And so I begin to think about everything that could go wrong. But when I start a new D&D campaign, it is not the thought of what could go wrong. It's the thought of what could go right. And isn't that interesting? When I start a new campaign, I see all the players that everybody rolls up and I get so excited. I think about how they're going to interact with each other. I think about what's going to happen when they talk with each other. I get thrilled by that. I get so intensely excited to see what my players choose to do. But in real life, I get scared of the unknown. And then there are all the players at the table. In a new campaign, when something goes wrong, they get excited because they wonder about what that's going to lead to. In the first campaign that I started this year, the players found a cursed item, and I've actually put a few story times about this cursed item on this channel. Link in the description if you want to go ahead and watch them. But when they found that item, they were excited. It was obviously a bad thing. It was cursed, it talked to them, it cursed two of the players, but they were excited to have it because they wanted to see what opportunities that would lead to, what interesting things. Now granted, this is not a one-for-one example. Yes, it's exciting to think about what bad things might happen to your characters, because you're not your character. At the end of the day, you don't have to deal with the stress of the consequences of what's going on. In real life, you do. There's no getting around that. But it doesn't mean that it can't continue to be exciting. I often wonder in a campaign, when a bad thing happens, what exciting opportunities it'll lead to the characters to grow in. For example, this cursed item. The druid has it, and the druid has a history of making bad decisions. He's incredibly impulsive, but that's not the worst thing in the world, now is it? He's begun to learn to use his impulsivity in a more constructive fashion after realizing the danger of the weapon that he held. He grew from that experience. In real life, it's real easy to lose that sort of excitement of a mistake, of a problem, because it's so difficult to see the excitement of where you could grow from that, of what new things could happen. I started this channel off of a mistake. I was very tired and exhausted and was feeling a lot of creative burnout. And because of that burnout, I was just losing my mind. And my wife, lovely person that she is, encouraged me to start this channel. She insisted, in fact, that I did it. She said, stop talking about it, just do it. I didn't think it was going to go anywhere, but because of that mistake in my life where I got so burned out, I made the channel. And now I have all of you lovely, beautiful bastards for it. A mistake can lead to amazing things, but only when you think about that. Now, it doesn't mean that a mistake is not going to have negative consequences. It doesn't mean that it can't stress you out. It should, usually. Stress is a motivator to get something accomplished. But when you only begin to think about the negative things that could possibly happen, the world around you begins to get very dark. And I've fallen into that trap. But nonetheless, even with all that stress, I've begun to grow. I'm here on camera. I started this channel on camera and moved away from that because I get a small feeling of existential dread whenever I'm in front of a camera. But I'm trying to grow from that, to be here. It's interesting the things that we can do when we want to grow. And when starting a new campaign, the only thing you can think of is the excitement of the opportunities ahead. But when you reach the end of the campaign, you look back and remember fondly every opportunity that was had. It's important to remember that for life. I'm moving on to a new stage and I'm exhausted with the one I'm currently in. I don't have a lot of good things to say about it, but I can look back on it, and I can realize with a lot of fondness the things I did get, experience, friends. I got married, started a channel. There are good things that came with the bad, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to ignore the bad things. They're what helped me grow, but it's the growth that I'm going to continue to linger on, rather than the bad things. This is a little bit of a different video for me, but I think it was important to make, and I'm excited to be able to share it with you all. And hopefully you guys enjoy me being on camera. If you do, let me know. I'm actually planning on buying a new camera soon so you can actually have better definition and not the, phone quality that you currently have. Nonetheless, thank you for coming. Go out into the world and make it your own. Don't forget to have a great day. And of course, never forget to play your role. Thank you. Come again.